Hi, my name is Batul Akbari, and today I'll be talking to you about effective lesson planning, what I've learned through my various modules at my Teach Now program. I have found these modules to be very helpful and I have understood, I've watched a lot of videos and articles, and I do understand that lesson planning is a very effective tool or a planning tool that teachers have. It helps teachers identify a course of action that can effectively reach goals and objectives. Lesson plans communicate to learners what they will learn, how they will be assessed. They help instructors organize content, materials, time, instructional strategies, and assistance in the classroom. Lesson planning helps instructors in creating smooth instructional flow, and it provides scaffold instructions for learners. One of the first article, I will be sharing an article with you that I found very interesting, which is called the 10 Teaching Tweaks for New Teachers. I will be a new teacher in the fall, so I found this article to be particularly helpful. It is by this article is by Stacy Davison, and we'll quickly over. It's a new teacher survival guide. So the first point she talks about is reset and reteach. So she's saying that when the new year comes and the students come back after New Year, it's the teacher has had enough time to see some classroom routines and procedures, and she may realize that some are not working and some are the ones that aren't. And then it's a good time to reset and create other procedures that might work better for the class and for the students. Number 2 is watch your wait time. This is also very important to watch wait time because students need to it's important to allow students time to understand a question that has been posed to them by the teacher, and they need this time to gather their thoughts and then they can respond. This is especially beneficial for students, for ELL students or students with some kind of learning disabilities. Number 3 is turn a new habit into common practice. So it might be a good idea to write some goal that is important on a sentence strip and put it somewhere in the classroom, which will be visible to all the students and will serve as a daily reminder. Number 4, take time to take care of yourself. This is very important, that a teacher does need does need time to relax and not think about the teaching and lesson planning and the grading. Just have a few minutes to relax. Number 5, breathe, which is if a teacher is calm, and then she can have a calming effect on those who are around her, especially her students. Number 6, listen with intention. A teacher must building relationships, good relationships with students is very important. So a teacher must listen to her students whenever she has opportunity. She can arrange extracurricular activities, get a chance to know your students and build relationships with them. Number 7, set goals with your students. It's a good idea to engage your students or involve your students in the process of planning a lesson or a procedure. And when the students have their input, then they also take an interest in following them up. Number 8, be purposefully net positive. So it's very important for a teacher for positive encouragement and reinforcement to keep a positive environment in the class. Have a smile all the time because positivity is powerful. Number 9, own your own objective. That means let your students know exactly what you want them to do, what you're hoping that they will learn. And number 10, bring your lessons to a close. It's a powerful ending is very important for the students to retain. It helps students retain what they have learned in class, and it gives, if you have a good ending, it gives the students a sense of closure and honors what you have accomplished as a teacher and they have accomplished as a student. Next, I will be talking to you about Miss Noonan's class or Miss Noonan's videos, and I absolutely love these videos. There are about four videos in this series, and I watched all of them, but today I will share with you two that I really liked. So I'll be talking to you about Miss Noonan's Your Unique Class Culture. This I just love this video, and in fact I love all 4 or 5 of her videos. I felt that they're very helpful, and this one especially talks about the 3 skills that new teachers should have and use. They are passion, zeal, and humor. And what I love about this teacher is that she keeps energy in the class. The students have energy, the students are engaged, they're enjoying what they're learning, they have an interest in what they're learning. Ms. Noonan says key to effective teaching is knowing who you are and modeling and knowing how to set up systems and structures that are mutually beneficial to you and to your kids. She starts off the morning with a morning meeting, and the morning meeting is a place for in her class. A morning meeting is a great place for managing language and building word and for vocabulary or word building skills. And she has a fun and engaging way to learn to communicate in a constructive and safe way. They're also doing a lot of hand movements. Now she has another teaching strategy, which is SWABAT, that students will be able to. So, and it states learning, and in this she states the learning goals or the objectives for the day. It signals the students what they need to learn.
I'm loud, I'm verbose, and that comes across in my teaching. I talk fast, I move fast. You see that in my classroom.
In 3 and 2 quixotic.
The key to an effective classroom is knowing who you are and knowing how to set up systems and structures that are mutually beneficial for you and your kids.
Okay, so then she has, she's also talked about of student behavior. She has a great method of tracking student behavior. It's a great idea with the number line. So if a student gains a point, then they move up, or a student or a group of students gain a point, they move up on the number line, and if they lose a point, then they move down. And this happens throughout the day. The students, they move up and down the number line. So accordingly, the students know that all is not lost, and that they have hope and motivation to go up or move up on the number line by achieving the desired behavior. Students know that they always have a chance to improve themselves. This is another great video of Ms. Noonan, and it's called Managing Classroom Transitions. She manages the classroom transitions in an impressive way. She has the word of the day, which she uses as a transition, and she defines it and explains it, and the students discuss it, define it, and explain, make sentences out of it. They build, the students get a chance to build on the word throughout the day. This is a wonderful way to build vocabulary. She uses it, like I said, she uses it throughout the day as a signal for a transition between lessons also. Another great strategy that I liked was her method of dismissing the students or letting them go back, releasing them back to go to work, where she asks questions, and as the students answer, they can go back to their desks. So she releases them in a content-based way, and it makes that movement meaningful, and it's a great way for students to learn and an opportunity for them to model to their peers. So this is also a great video on, and it's called Adjusting Lessons and Have a Plan B. That means have an alternate plan B, C, D. And it's a big, according to the teacher, it's a big challenge. In fact, it's the biggest challenge of teaching is to anticipate anticipate student response. As a teacher cannot predict how the students will understand, what they will understand, or how their learning will be. So a teacher should have alternate plans to meet the needs of the students on the spot. A teacher should continuously question and observe her students to gauge their engagement and understanding. And if she feels that students aren't following or aren't interested, or are having problem in understanding, then she can use her alternate plan, which may require a change in activity or the mode of teaching, and this helps keeping direction moving in the flow that a teacher wants. The roller coaster physics, which is STEM in action, is another video that I had to watch during one of my modules in Teach Now, and I absolutely love the teaching style of the teacher, and I felt that this activity it's a great learning activity, and it reinforces knowledge, and this is actually lifelong learning. It helps the students correct their misconceptions, and by practicing or doing things themselves. And there was one particular concept which I really liked, which was a chimer concept, for which there was, like, in each group there was for the engineering design concept. It's a great idea for or an assessment tool to understand where the students are. And secondly, it promotes autonomous or independent and free learning, where the students value each other's opinions and the learning process is independent from the teacher. It passes from student to student, which is very important. In this value, the students learn to give value to each other or their peers' opinions and ideas, and they realize that they themselves are the problem solvers and the teacher is just a guide for them. This video also gives great tips and strategies on how to close a lesson effectively. It's a good idea to summarize your learning individually or in a group. Ask the students to write down 5 golden rules or top tips that they've learned that day from the lesson. The teacher you can revisit the learning objectives with a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or how they place themselves against the learning objectives. They can go back and highlight 2 things that they know particularly well and 1 thing that they think they can improve on. This giving them learning objectives at the beginning of a class is a good idea also, so that later on at the end of the class you can ask them how you can use a thumbs up or the thumbs down by going over the learning objectives at the end. So this next video is about formative assessments, with the teachers going over teaching for her 4th grade students how to have a collaborative discussion. According to her, a balanced formative assessment process contains 4 attributes, which are to clarify, to elicit, interpret, and to act on. Clarify, it means intended learning. So it's a collaborative discussion. The students have inputs, and the teacher tells the students the learning goals and then the success criteria. Next comes is elicit, which is evidence. She went over the success criteria, then they had a collaborative discussion, and she gave clear instructions. The teacher walked around using teacher note-taking tools to looking for evidence of learning. And then it's the interpretation, which gives ideas or gives her an idea as how when her students are asking each other questions and then linking the answers. Teachers can then re-guide the students. She can use interpretation to adjust teaching and learning strategies. And lastly, act on, which is evidence. Feedback, it demonstrates how students and teachers adjust their teaching and their learning. Basically, the teacher needs to circulate around the classroom, asking questions, listening to students explain their thinking, and record observational notes on students' progress as partners. This can serve as a great formative assessment strategy. And at the end, I'd like to quickly just discuss another summative assessment technique, which is an in-class Jeopardy, which could be used for math or ELA or other things, and it can be adjusted. It's a great way, and the class can do this and play this in group. We can do this game. It's an interesting and fun way to engage students and to get an idea of how much they have learned. The teacher can go on different sections, as if the students say that they want subtraction, addition, pattern, story problems, and click on those